You are now listening to the In Good Company podcast.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I can tell that you all enjoyed the last episode with the Adenugas. Honestly, I can't get over that conversation. It was just so good. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the video on YouTube. I think that was the highest number of views that I've gotten on an episode. So shout out to you all. And thank you once again to the Adenugas for coming on the podcast to share your love story with everybody. So we're starting this new series. It's called Real People, Real Love. And the reason I've started this series is to showcase genuine relationships and just hear how people have shaped their love over time. Yeah, just to kind of inspire hope in the life of someone who's probably given up hope on love, whatever love that might be, whether it's romantic love or brotherly love, family love, whatever kind of love. The next Real People, Real Love series is an episode with sisters, two sisters. When I tell you that I've listened to this episode like 10 times, it's just so hilarious. Oh, goodness. You love it. You would definitely love it. So yeah, make a note to listen to that episode. But before I drop that episode, I said, let me just come on here very quickly to talk about a very pressing issue. Matters arising. You may have come across a video where Chimamanda was talking about marriage. The event was about her book, Dream Counts. I don't know if you've grabbed a copy. I have a copy, a signed copy from the author. So I'm a Chimamanda girly. I love her so much. I love her work. I've started reading the book. It's been hard reading books lately because I'm also 3 months or now 4 months, nearly 4 months postpartum. So reading books has just become harder and slower. But yes, that book is incredible. I love Chimamanda's writing style. So much to learn from the characters in that book. So if you haven't gotten it, please grab yourself a copy of Dream Count. But that's besides the point. So this video, Chimamanda was talking about marriage, and then the core message of this video, or this clip, or actually the core message of this clip was women should not aspire to marriage, although marriage is good. When you're married to the right person is great and all of that, but women should not aspire to marriage, and then goes on to list all the things that you should then aspire to, but definitely not marriage. Okay, like I said, I'm a Chimamanda girl. Chimamanda's ideologies shaped most of my early womanhood. Yeah, let's say that. And I love her books. I've watched a few of, I've read a few of her books. But I think you can love someone and also see when they're wrong. I'm not even going to try to say, okay, she's kind of wrong. I get her point. No. Let's be plain about it. I think that her position or how she has passed on this message, actually, the way she has passed on this message is wrong and harmful and dangerous and could be easily misconstrued by the young women who actually listen to her. I say that as someone whose life would have taken a very downward turn or slope if I hadn't renewed my perspective to marriage, or renewed my mind in how I view marriage. Marriage is a wonderful thing, beautiful thing, right? Two people coming together to partner together, to love each other, to depend on each other and to be depended on. That's a beautiful experience. As human beings, we are relational beings. I mean, the podcast title says it all, In Good Company. When you find someone with whom you can do life with whom you can enjoy good company with for the rest of your life, that will always be better than being alone. And so it is insane, for lack of a better word, to say that you shouldn't aspire to that. People have made it out to look like, oh no, you can desire, but don't aspire. Huh? Do you even know what these words mean? They're literally just like synonyms. They're interchangeable word within context, of course. You can say, oh, I desire to be a doctor, or I aspire to be a doctor. I aspire to be a wife. I desire to be a wife. These words can be used interchangeably. What's with the semantics? We all know her point. We all know what she meant. We know that she's basically saying don't make it the entirety of your life's goal or agenda, or everything you do in life should be directed towards being a wife. Obviously, that's is good advice, but saying don't aspire is bad advice. And let's be real, we're talking about a world-renowned writer. This woman understands English. She knows what she meant when she says don't aspire to marriage. We need to change the way that we give advice on marriage. Let's stop giving advice as though we're in the 60s, where marriage was all about domesticating women and men going out to war or men going out to work while the wives stay at home and have children and da 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 da. Does that still happen? Of course it does. But marriage has largely changed in our day and time. And so to say that someone should not aspire to all that marriage can do and be for them, hey, I don't know, that's bad advice in my opinion. If you tell someone to aspire to other things in life but not marriage, my question to you would then be why? Why should somebody not aspire for something that is obviously good? Something that is obviously beneficial to both parties, beneficial to our society as a whole. Why would you say to somebody, do not aspire for it? Although it's good, or if you find the right person is good, why is it then that we're not teaching people to find the right person for this thing that is obviously good? And to teach people to find the right person, they need to desire it, they need to aspire to it. I never really looked at marriage as something to aspire to, because I didn't really see marriages around me that were worth emulating, in my opinion. And so it shaped my view of marriage. I started to see marriage as something that would hold me back. And so, of course, I did not aspire to it. I did not desire it at all. Then I started to expose myself a little more. I started to see people who are married and in happy marriages, people who love each other, people who just, wow, they were radiating all things good. And I started to read more about marriage. I started to ask questions. I started to observe more. And I identified that the problem is not marriage, but the people in the marriage. If you marry the wrong person as a man or a woman, the quality of your life is going to just kind of plummet. But when you're married to the right person and you understand how to do marriage, oh my God, it's one of the best things in the world. I did not have this perspective to marriage many, many years ago. Because of advice like this, don't aspire to it. What do you expect people to make of such an information as per, oh, this thing is not that great then? If something is that great, if something is that good, you advise people to chase after it, go for it. But then you teach them the how, the why. You help people, you give them the tools, the skills, the resources that they need to be successful at marriage. The same way we are doing for friendships nowadays, because back in the days of our mothers and grandmothers, women friendships were seen in such a negative light. Women were seen as people that are constantly in opposition to one another, they're in competition. But now the narrative is changing. We're seeing more women form alliances, build friendships, have connections. This old and tired narrative of women friendships is changing very, very quickly. Are there still women who still behave as though they're in competition with other women? Absolutely. Are there female friendships that have gone sour? Absolutely. But we now say to other women, oh, don't aspire to female friendships. Would you ever say that to somebody? No, because you know the value of that bond. You know the value of having your women. You can tell someone to aspire to career, aspire to whatever it is, at the same time aspire to marriage. Most people will probably end up married. Most people will, because it is our human nature to live in community, to be together. It is against our nature to live alone or to do things in isolation. Even if you want to aspire to, let's say a career, have you not seen two people who are married and their marriage is great? It's as though they become richer, they become more successful. And that is one of the beauties of marriage, that companionship, helps to build you as a person. And then you have someone that you can depend on, someone that can bear your burdens for you so that you can have time and space to do other things that will kind of propel you. Even just the mere fact of being together, the fact that someone depends on you is a motivator to do better. There is a grace that comes with marriage that I wish and pray that more people would enjoy. So instead of telling people to not aspire to marriage, how about we tell people how to channel these aspirations, these desires? What do you make of it? Are we advising people to seek marriage counseling? Are we telling people to read more, study more, go and learn about marriage? I hear all this talk about don't aspire to marriage. When the right man comes, work on yourself. Okay, work on yourself in what way? What does that look like? I can be working on myself to be a a successful doctor, for instance, and I'm not working on myself to be a successful wife. These things are separate. You can work on yourself to be a great friend. That kind of, yeah, I feel like that feeds into being a great spouse to an extent, but there's still some delicate aspects, some intricacies, some differences, nuances that you can really just emphasize on when it comes to marriage that is a bit different from friendship and everything else. Build yourself to be a relationship person, and that's why this podcast is so dear to me, because we are not born, oh gosh, we are not born with the innate desire to be, or rather with the innate ability to be successful at marriage. On my platform, I preach love. I preach it's possible. I preach, go for it. Become a relationship person. Love hard, love wholly, love truly. Allow yourself to give love and receive it. That's what I preach. Some other people have their platforms and their agenda is to show you all the flaws and all the loopholes. While that is so important, balance is very key. I've never come on here to make it look like being married is all fun and good, is all rosy, everybody's having a great time, there's never any problems. There will always be problems with every single thing. Even the jobs and careers you are aspiring to, you will hit roadblocks. Would then someone say don't aspire to that because you might experience bad bosses or your business might crash? Because some people have done businesses that never made it. They spent so much time, effort, energy. Would you then say, oh, don't aspire to business, so please just play it safe and focus on other things, the right business will come to you? We don't say that to people. So why is it that it is when it comes to marriage that we're giving such advice? What then is my message? My message is very simple. Marriage is something to, in fact, in truth, in reality, a good thing to be desired. Aspire to marriage if you want to aspire to marriage. If you don't want to, that's your own. But if you do want to, my sister and my brother, there's nothing wrong. What you should then be asking yourself is the why. Why am I aspiring to marriage? Clarify your intentions. Make sure that they're not selfish. Make sure that you are not, setting yourself up for failure. When people say don't aspire to marriage, work on yourself first, what does that look like? If you are working on yourself to be a relationship person, that is good. And you can also feed it in. I'm going to work on myself to be a person who forgives, a person who knows how to communicate, because these are the things you need in marriage anyway. So if you say, I want to be these things so that I can be a good friend and also potentially a good wife and a good mother, a good daughter-in-law, a good mother-in-law in future, what is so wrong with that? We need to start having more serious conversations about marriage. We need to encourage people to desire it. Don't see it as this thing that will limit you. Rather, see it as something that can actually propel you. She said something like, okay, if you have a first degree, then you can go on and have a second degree. Who says that you need to be single to do that? It all boils down to marrying the wrong person or the right person. When you marry the right person, they create an environment where you can actually thrive. You can scale your career. You can get another degree if you want. Those of us who have been able to break free from these perspectives, we too have platforms. She has a platform, although very big, which is why it's scary. You say things like this and a young girl will pick it up and say, oh, I don't desire to be married. When conversations of marriage comes up, they think they are too big or they are too cool to be involved in such conversations. Sometimes when I'm trying to think of, the episode or content to put out, I tend to shy away from marriage content. And that's because subtly these voices are still in my head telling me that, oh, why are you talking about marriage? Oh, please, there are other things to talk about. Okay, why can't I also then talk about marriage? I've had to really hold myself back. I've had to, remind myself that there is nothing wrong in talking about marriage. It is a great thing. There's nothing wrong in encouraging people to desire it. There's nothing wrong in making an episode that encourages people to desire marriage and, how to choose the right partner, how to make marriage work. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. It's not uncool. It's not, there's not, like, what? I can sit down here and make an episode of how you should work better with your colleagues, how to be a better friend. But, when it's marriage, it's like, well, let's not really talk about that because we don't want to make people think marriage is all in all. Marriage is not all in all, but it is something really, 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 really great. I understand that the dating pool is a bit, is not balanced. And so it's important for women to not make an idol out of marriage that you then rush and marry the wrong person. But guess what? Even with all the careful dotting of the I's and crossing of the T's, some people might make mistakes. That's just life. Bad marriages will happen. We pray that we're not going to be on the receiving side of that, but it happens. We live in a fallen world. People will make mistakes, marry the wrong person, or maybe marry someone and then change, or they're not doing the right things to nurture the marriage, and then the marriage goes sour, they divorce, blah blah blah. These things will in fact happen in this world. That's the world that we live in. We said it in the last episode. Look at the good marriages, aspire to those ones. Allow them to shape your perspective. But then don't focus on the negative ones because we believe it. The whole culture of manifestation is right in front of us. We believe that when we think of something, say it enough, internalize it enough, it begins to manifest in our lives. We believe it so much for everything else, but not marriage. My problem is, what is with marriage? Yeah, that people are trying so hard. They want to die on the hill that it's better to be single than to be married. What exactly has convinced people of that? What? Check yourself. Ask yourself why. Or because women don't, research says that more women, don't scale their careers and da 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 da. Okay, that's the issue there. The workplace, not marriage. We need to then reshape the workplace because now you choosing to be single because you want to have a successful career. What about people that want to be married? Are you saying that they are not deserving of a successful career too? How about we all start seeing each other as partners in reshaping the way the world is, both men and women? Let's change the narratives in society. But you excluding yourself from the institution of marriage doesn't do anybody any good. Your life can be great as a married person and also be great as a single person. Someone made such a stupid comment. Oh God, I think we need to do like an episode or like series on this podcast just to talk about the rubbish that people post on the internet. She says Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and he's single. That should tell you something. In my head, I'm like, whatever you think is telling you is not telling you. Okay, you that are single, are you the richest person in the world? Maybe we need to talk about how career and career aspirations actually harm marriages, as opposed to how marriage is the one that is affecting your career. No, we've kind of misplaced our priorities. Us being there for one another, being in good company, building homes, building families, building relationships should always trump any career, any business, making money, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it should always come before that. I don't know, man. It's just a bit of a chaotic one. But yeah, please, to all the young people listening to this podcast, whether young or old, I beg you, don't tell your child not to aspire to marriage whilst you are training them to be a successful engineer, content creator, whatever. Also train them to become relationship people who can, potentially become good husbands, good wives. So now that I've established the fact that marriage is in truth something to aspire to or something to desire deeply, let me then share how you can know that this your desire is getting out of hand. So yes, don't allow marriage to be your ultimate goal, the only thing in your entire life that you are doing or you are dreaming of. However, you can dream of it, you should dream of it, you should aspire to it in a healthy way. So what does unhealthy aspiration looks like? When your desire has become obsession, what does that look like? There's several red flags that you can spot in yourself or several signs of someone who has become obsessed with the idea of marriage. Number one, as I already said that one, you've idealized marriage as this ultimate life goal. If you are not married, you are not content, you're not successful. Come on, come off it, come off it. Another thing, when you start noticing that you're having anxiety around the idea of being single, you're scared. You are so afraid of the idea, not even the reality, just even the idea or the thought of the fact that you might not actually get married because not everybody will. That is driving you into a state of panic or chaos. Then maybe you have over desired this thing and you've made it to become an idol in your life, and that should not be. Even with your career, if you find that your career is not going the way that you want and you might not get a position, you should still be able to exist knowing that, well, this won't happen. Mourn it, be sad, obviously, cry if you must. But yeah, don't now be having heart palpitations, you can't breathe, you can't sleep, you can't eat because you didn't achieve something. Don't be that person and don't let marriage be that thing for you. If you are struggling to have an identity outside of a relationship with another person or someone of the opposite gender, yeah, you need to check that. Because even when you get married, you would have your own hobbies, the things that make you happy, you'd have your own friends. Yeah, you just be your own person still. You would maintain your individuality. So don't attach your sense of identity and your worth to a romantic relationship. That's a bit funny. There's a difference between working on yourself to become a good spouse, someone who's deserving of a good spouse as well, and you just shaping your entire identity around the fact that you're a wife or a husband. To the extent that if you are not a wife or husband, you don't know who you are, you don't know what you like, you don't know what you're doing in your life. Yeah, no, don't be that person. There are other things in life that you can pursue. So yeah, have other things, other goals and dreams and aspirations. Essentially, that's just a good, healthy balance. What else? What else? What else? If you're constantly comparing yourself to other people who are married, yeah, that's just a bit weird. As a single person, you're like, oh, look at this married woman, look at how she look. My sister, what? What does she have that you don't? The only thing is that she's married and you're not. And like that's just it. You get there's nothing. What don't be that person, please. Don't constantly compare yourself, look down on yourself because you're not married. What else? You tend to stay in toxic relationships because you'd rather be in a relationship than single. Come off it, come off it, come off it. Especially when you're dating. If you notice that that relationship is bad, there's no magic that wants to happen on the wedding day that would change the dynamic that you have to now become a healthy one. No. So please run. Don't walk out of the relationship. Run off your slippers and run. Okay? Um if you're obsessed with wedding culture, I don't understand this one. Some people in real life, they are obsessed with weddings. They want to go to weddings every weekend and they look forward to having this really large and massive wedding that's the talk of the town. And hey, my sister and my brother, you need to come up with it. Your parents might be the ones having that unhealthy wedding obsession. To the best of your ability, excuse yourself from whatever that is. Yeah, don't because you want to get married, everyone else is getting married, you want to have a wedding so bad that you go and get married to the wrong person. What? There are people doing fake wedding ceremonies. Go and attend, pay to attend one of those if your body is scratching you so much. Don't be weird, please. If you feel your view of singleness is, it's a problem that needs to be fixed, rather than just a state of being, a state of exist, like it's just who you are. Like there's nothing there. Singlehood is who you are. When you were born into this world, you were born single. If anything, marriage is the thing that you then step into. So it's not a problem that needs to be fixed. That's just your state of being for every person. And when you find the right person, you then opt into marriage. So please don't view singlehood as something that is a problem that needs to be fixed. I know in some families, in some cultures, it's like that, but yeah, especially if it's not like that in your own family. Nobody is pressuring you to get married, but you by yourself, you've put pressure on yourself. Please don't do that. And then, if you're the kind of person that cannot even enjoy a romantic relationship without talking about marriage all the time, if you meet someone and that person is in a space where they want to be married and you also want to be married, how about it? Talk about marriage, you guys do whatever you want. If you then unfortunately find someone who's not on there with you and you feel like they're not ready, don't force them, don't force their hand, don't constantly bring it up all the time because you want to force their hand, you want to push for it, you want to pattern yourself or you want to deceive them into it. Don't be like that. Don't plot and scheme and be conniving just because you want to be married. That's an obsession. You need to rest. You just need to relax. You get. If you want marriage so bad, go and find someone who also wants marriage so bad, and both of you should marry each other. Don't come and start plotting. You think, oh, if you sleep with somebody, then they would want to be married to you. Or if you deceive them that you have property or you are rich, then they want to be married to you. Once you start doing all those conniving behavior, those witchcraft behavior, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. But yeah, I know that the culture of obsession around the marriage exists. There are some families where their girl child cannot even drink water and drop cup. They're already talking about marriage, 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 marriage. A 19-year-old is already receiving long lectures about, oh, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? All this pressure, blah 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 blah. It exists. But please, if your own family is not like that, don't go and be carrying problem that is not your own. Nobody is pressuring you in your own family, in your own culture to be married. You are the one putting this undue pressure on yourself, and then why? To what end? Don't do that. Okay? Now, that being said, recognize the red flags, those signs that is pointing to an unhealthy desire. But this doesn't mean that desire in itself towards marriage is wrong. Desire to be married, think of it actively as a young person. Start thinking of it actively. If that's something you want, then you start preparing yourself. You think you want to become a doctor, you start preparing yourself, you start reading, you go to school, you enroll, you're attending all your labs, all your trainings, all those things that they do. You do all of that because you have a goal to become a doctor. Do the same thing in marriage. If marriage is something that you do genuinely desire, start reading, start attending conferences, start practicing certain things. Except sex, don't practice that one. Trust me. Trust me. You are better off just being abstinent until marriage. There are lots and lots of benefits. You can read about it scientifically, psychologically, why it's better that you wait, and all the logicallys. Yeah, that's not today's episode, but yeah, you can start preparing yourself, to be a relationship person. Start teaching yourself how to recognize a potential spouse, how to be a good husband, how to be a good wife. Start now to prepare yourself to become the very person that you want to be. I hope that this episode has helped to kind of put things into better perspective. I hope that you know and you believe genuinely in your heart that marriage is good and marriage is something to aspire to. Marriage is something to desire. Desire good things for yourself. And so if marriage is good, why should you not desire it? Yeah, but be mindful that your good desire doesn't become an unhealthy obsession. Be mindful of that. And just constantly check yourself. Yeah, okay. Remember, we're all striving to become good company and to find such. So you work on yourself to become a good husband and a good wife. You are not born with the templates. You must learn. Learn it. Learn it now. Don't wait till you're married to learn it. Learn it now so that when that person finds you, they find a refurbished, a thoroughly finished person, someone who has been cooked. Do you get me? Okay, boys and girls, this is the end of the episode. I do hope that you enjoyed it and have yourself a lovely rest of your week. Bye bye.